But we're going to stay with the NBA, of course. The playoffs are hot. And in these playoffs, Patrick Beverley, guard for the Milwaukee Bucks, among many other teams. What was he on, like 5 teams this year or something like that? But anyway, of course, last week, you might remember when they were eliminated by the Indiana Pacers, Patrick Beverley tossed a ball into the stands and hit a woman. And then a fan threw it back to Beverley, not in an aggressive way. And then he fired the ball back at the fan and thankfully did not hit a little girl. I think it was a little girl who was right near the line of fire. But anyway, for that act, he has been suspended for 4 games, the first 4 games of next season, Rob. I thought it should have been at least 5 games. 10 would not have upset me.
No, because of the damage he could have done, Chris. Like, there's just no way you should allow that to happen where you're throwing a ball into the stands.
No.
If a fan threw a ball at his head, Chris, from the like a loose ball, that guy would be thrown out and banned from ever coming back in. Am I wrong? Right or wrong?
No, you'd be banned.
You'd be banned.
For we've seen it. Yeah,
yes.
Fans get banned. Yeah, absolutely.
He would have been banned. And I'm not saying that Beverly should have been banned or anything like that. But this is just another reminder, Chris, of Adam Silver. Adam Silver has mishandled a number of things, has come off as way lenient when it comes to the play. I know he's employed by the owners,
right?
But he's a players commissioner.
He's definitely a players commissioner.
He's Plato. He's like that's what he is, Chris. Because they just bend him, shape him any way they want. He always seems to be light when it comes to discipline the players. The only time, Chris, he appeared to be hardcore or like David Stern was when he got rid of Donald Sterling ASAP. But that was because of the players. Because they had threatened not to play Chris playoff games that would have cost the league TV money and all kinds of issues.
Right.
And that's when he acted and didn't look back or flinch. Am I right? It was because of the players.
Well,
they forced his hand.
You had mass player support.
Right.
So it wasn't really that controversial.
It really wasn't.
And to be honest, I mean, Sterling had rubbed people the wrong way for years.
And they had the tape, Chris. It wasn't even like a hearsay. Like, hearsay, they couldn't have done anything. But when you hear the tape, there's nothing you could do.
Right. A league that's 75% black.
And he's saying, what? Don't bring black people to the game?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Speaking against one of the legends, Magic Johnson. But, yeah, go ahead. Finish your
Yeah, I'm just – it just seems like it was a little light. That's all. Like, make an example. Pat Bev, I know he's emotional, Chris, or whatever, but you just can't tolerate – there's certain things that you cannot do. And I think that was – he got lucky. What if he popped a little girl in the face with the ball, Chris? Then the league, right? There might be a lawsuit and all kinds of other stuff. There would have been a lawsuit.
Especially the way he threw it.
Right.
He threw it hard.
So I just thought it was kid gloves again by Adam Silver, who oftentimes wears mittens when he's putting out punishment.
Well, look, like I said.
And I'm going to say this for the last time. Currently, he's the worst commissioner in sports.
Wow. Look, I would disagree with that. I do think he has been light on the players. He is, I agree with your description of him as a players commissioner because, he does value having the friendships and the relationships with the players. And in a lot of cases tends to go, light on them. Beyond the Patrick Beverley one, I thought the Jamal Murray situation was egregious. I don't know how in the world, and I get it. And again, I'm going to be I'm going to enjoy watching that game tomorrow night, game 3 between Denver and Minnesota. A lot more with Jamal Murray there. And now we actually have a really delicious storyline, right? That this is the guy that many feel like should have been suspended. He's been their hero, next to Jokic throughout their nice run these last 2 years. And now he's frustrated and flustered by the aggressive defense of the Timberwolves, so much so that he threw a heating pad onto the court at a referee and yet wasn't suspended. Like, it's a great storyline. And so I'll be more into the game as a fan, but I don't know how in the world he's not suspended. I think David Stern definitely would have suspended him. And Rob, that's the thing. David Stern was such a heavy-handed owner. I think David Stern was a terrific commissioner. At times, he was too heavy-handed.
I agree with that,
doubt.
Chris. I criticized David Stern on some of the things that he did. I thought it was...
Oh, yeah. Sometimes he went too far.
Right.
But overall, I thought he was fantastic, overseeing the growth of the league the way he did in a league that had a lot of image problems when he took over. And so Adam Silver is a much different type of owner than him, and maybe
commissioner.
Commissioner than David Stern.
But Chris, this is why I say he's the worst. Is when you coddle the players, which I believe he's done, they have taken advantage of him with the load management, like the embarrassment.
Well, they did put the 65 games in.
Yeah, but it still didn't help. I mean, like,
it did help. It was better. It ain't where it needs to be, but it was better.
I mean,
I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think Draymond Green, Chris. There are just a lot of issues that happen in the league where I think they've taken advantage of Silver and the load management, as I pointed out. Even the embarrassment of the All-Star game where he went and sent in former legends to say, hey, everybody's going to be, can you D up a little bit? Can you play a little defense or whatever? And what happened? They scored 211 points. Like, it was like a slap in the face. I'm just saying, like, everything he tried, and he even tried to talk it up, that this is going to be a little more competitive than we have seen in the past, Chris.
Right.
And it was the exact opposite.
But I think the worst commissioner in sports is Rob Manfred. I mean, I guess you can argue for Adam Silver, but I mean, Rob Manfred, Adam Silver didn't call their coveted trophy a piece of metal. You know what I mean?
That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Yeah, it was. I also think that, Rob, I've been saying this from day one. You talk about being soft. You should have vacated that championship for the Houston Astros.
It's never been done. They weren't going to do it.
I don't care.
I know.
That type of cheating, you talk about hurting the integrity of the game, and you basically get, in my view, slaps on the wrist. Come on, nah. I mean, no, that was terrible to me. So I think there's also been talk about juiced balls under his watch. Now I'm gonna be fair. I think he made some good changes, to the rules this year.
The last 2 years.
Year, I should say last year,
definitely.
with the pitch clock. The big. I mean, I don't know about the bigger bases. I don't know that. I don't think you had to go bigger bases necessarily, but overall, I think he made some good decisions with that. But I think Adam Silver's made some good decisions too. I think the in-season tournament was fine. I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it, but I thought it was fine. I thought the 65-game rule, yes, you need to come down harder. He needs to come down on his teams. Because again, I've said before, a lot of this is the teams, their trainers, not just the players that wanting to sit out. But also, Rob, I think the play-in tournament was huge. A huge success. Like, I mean, LeBron, we talk about, okay, LeBron's out of the tournament now. Steph's out of the playoffs now. They would have been gone long before, perhaps, without this in-season tournament. Miami, which got to the finals last year, was in the the play-in tournament. I'm sorry. And so I think that was a good move by Silver. Definitely has made some mistakes, but I would say Manfred has been the worst commissioner, is the worst commissioner current day over Silver.
Yeah, and
in that regard.
Silver had to bribe the players almost to play hard and all that. I just
What's the bribe?
I just think that the in-season tournament with money, like you got to play hard. Here's some extra money. To my God, can you play this tournament? Well, what do you need to pay extra money for guys making $18 million? That was the bribe.
It ain't much. Yeah, I don't know that I describe it as a bribe.
Right.
It's just trying to give you something for the tournament.
But I guess my biggest point is I just think that he's coddled them, and they haven't reciprocated, Chris, that they haven't done right by him or tried to make him look good, even though he's a players commissioner. If anything, it's been the opposite, is that they've taken advantage of him, and every time he gives them an inch, they take a foot. That's why I say.
Well, beyond the All-Star game, which probably happens whoever the commissioner is, I mean, it's just the nature of, the shooting so many three-pointers. Now, again, I think Stern would have come down on that, and who knows if that would have helped. But outside of that, where do you say they're taking advantage of?
The load management, Chris. The load management is
It started under Stern.
No. But it went haywire.
And the Spurs kept doing it.
Okay, but it went haywire here, where all these big players, and we talked about on the show, how many big nights we wanted to watch games and those guys weren't playing. Like, he did a disservice. He allowed that stuff to go on, and he should have clamped down on the teams and said, no, you can't keep doing this to our broadcast partners and to our fans. And to our fans, Chris, like, people are paying $400 to go to a game and guys aren't playing. They're not hurt. They're just taking a night off. That's not fair.
No, I think this offseason he actually should come down on that.
And that's under his watch. When I think of his tenure as commissioner, I don't think of the in-season tournament. I think of load management going amok, going wild. Load management going wild, running amok. That's what I think of with Adam Silver.
Led astray.
That's right.
Bamboozled.
Fans have been bamboozled, hoodwinked.